The 2011 Monterrey casino attack was a narcoterrorist attack that took place in city of Monterrey, Nuevo León, in the country of Mexico, on the 25th of August 2011. Government sources revealed that 52 people were killed, but the blog Del Narco mentioned that 61 bodies were eventually found after a few days. The terrorist attack left over a dozen injured, and over 35 trapped for several hours before the Mexican forces arrived at the place a few minutes after the incident. Media reports said the majority of those killed were women, including one who was pregnant. Although the government crackdown of the drug cartels dates back to 2006, Monterrey became an increasingly violent city in 2010, due to the rupture of the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas. This attack was planned and carried out by the cartel, Los Zetas. Surveillance videos show how 4 vehicles with several well-armed gunmen arrived at the entrance of Casino Royal. After the gunmen descended from their vehicles, they quietly stormed the casino's main entrance, opened fire at a few gamblers and guests, and then doused the casino entrances with gasoline and started a fire that trapped the people inside. This attack was classified as the most violent and bloodiest in the history of Monterrey and of the whole state of Nuevo León. Background: Grupo Royal is a chain of casinos and entertainment venues with branches in Monterrey, Mazatlan and Los Cabos, as well as a branch in Escobedo named Fantastic Escobedo. The Casino Royal San Jeronimo is at the junction of Calle Jesus Maria Gonzalez and Avenida San Jeronimo, and is owned by Raúl Rocha Cantu and José Alberto Rocha Cantu, also owners of Conexiones y Mangueras S.A., and Entertainment Enterprises of Mexico S.A. SEV. It was opened in November 2007 to more than 500 people, who the casino gave 2 million pesos between them as a welcome gift. The casino had been attacked on several previous occasions. On January 17, 2011, it was announced in the news media that the business had been the victim of organized crime, and that an armed squad had entered the premises to subdue those inside, although this was denied by their then legal representative, Enrique Hernandez Navarro. In the early hours of May 25 of the same year, it was attacked by a group of delinquents who detonated firearms, taking money from customers and from the establishment, which was one of several casinos attacked that day. On May 4, 2011, the casino had been shut down by the municipality for failure to obtain permits for expanding the premises, reopening its doors on May 31 due to an appeal by its owners to the State Tribunal for Administrative Litigation, claiming that the works were for remodeling. This appeal was granted by Magistrate José Alfonso Solis Navarro. Before this tragedy, another betting center, owned by Grupo Royal, had been attacked twice this year by organized crime, but with no casualties. Attack minutes before 2 p.m. On the 26th of August 2011 in Monterrey, Nuevo León, 12 members of the criminal group Los Zetas, along with one of its leaders, met at El Gran Pastor restaurant located on Gonzalitos Avenue, just a few blocks away from the casino. The cartel members ate cabrito in a special meeting, where they were given orders to carry out the attack at the Casino Royal. According to the perpetrators, the attack was intended to send a message to the owner of the casino for failing to pay an extortion. By 3 p.m., the Zetas left the restaurant and headed to a Pemex gas station to collect barrels of gasoline. 2 separate surveillance videos issued by the governor confirmed that 2 pickup trucks arrived at the gas station to fill up big containers of gasoline before setting off on Gonzalitos Avenue. While driving through the avenue, the second video captured the moment when the convoy headed towards the site. The perpetrators arrived at the casino at approximately 3:50 p.m. in a convoy of 4 vehicles: a Mini Cooper, a Chevrolet Equinox, a blue GMC and a gray VW Beetle. In the first minute and a half, several armed men, about 8 or 9, stormed the casino while some people inside managed to escape. The criminals then ordered the people inside to hurry their way out, but many of them were scared and decided to hide inside the casino. Witnesses claim that one of the gunmen struck the receptionist with his assault rifle before the other triggerman doused the gasoline inside the premise from the tanks they had bought at the gas station. The crowd of 150 croupiers and customers, mostly women, stampeded inside the casino from the game area to the bathrooms, stairways, and blocked emergency exits. Some of them reportedly heard gunfire and explosion that they thought were grenade detonations. Some people managed to leave through the main entrance, but after a few minutes this became impossible due to the fire spreading. Several others were hurt in the stampede, as panic and psychosis descended at the scene. All of the 52 victims died from suffocation due to carbon monoxide poisoning because they were hiding in bathrooms and offices after trying to escape from the aggressors. It was later confirmed that the emergency exits in the casino were locked. In only 3 minutes, the perpetrators burned the establishment and managed to flee the scene, only to be captured by the surveillance video. When the emergency crew finally decided to smash down the walls of the casino, they found the corpses littered in huge piles inside the bathrooms, stairs, and game tables. By the next morning, the Mexican authorities confirmed that 52 people had died, while dozens more were in the hospital. Reactions. The company Attribution wire motionist Vallarta S.A. The CV, whose administration council consists of Rodrigo Madero Covarrubias, José Francisco Madero de Villa and Ramón Agustín Madero de Villa, denied any relationship with the Casino Royal, as they had previously separated from each other. City Mayor Fernando Larrazabal Breton and Juana Maria Trevino Torres, president of the Tribunal for Administrative Litigation, blamed each other for the tragedy. Larrazabal blamed the tribunal for permitting the casino to reopen, while Trevino Torres blamed Monterrey Civil Protection for not checking that it had emergency exits. Additionally, Magistrate José Alfonso Solis Navarro resigned his position on August 27. A contingent of 3,000 soldiers and federal police were sent to the city, and the rest of the state was patrolled by armored units and Black Hawk helicopters for reasons of security. Furthermore, the ex-mayor of Monterrey, Adalberto Madero, was detained by the Attorney General and federal forces for a supposed link to the Administrative Council of the company believed to manage the Casino Royal. President Felipe Calderón declared 3 days of national mourning. 26 relatives of the victims demanded compensation for the event and for their hospital and funeral expenses to be paid, although the company denied any responsibility due to the tragedy being out of the company's control. However, the government offered to pay their funeral and legal expenses, educational grants and medical and psychological bills. On November 7, 2 casinos belonging to the company of Raúl Rocha Cantor were closed. The Monte Carlo in Mazatlan, Sinaloa and the Play Win Casino in Los Cabos, Baja California Sur. However, the company Entretenimiento de Mexico has confirmed that Rocha Cantor is no longer a member. A few days after the attack, the narrative song El Muerto 53 appeared anonymously in order to reach the voice of the people. Suspects. The attack was attributed to organized crime, with the two initially suspected groups being the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas, who both claimed control of the area. It was later confirmed to be the latter group. With the help of witness statements, portraits of the attackers were drawn. On August 26, 3 stolen cars were discovered and found to be those caught on camera as being used during the attack. The Attorney General offered 30 million pesos for information leading to the capture of the suspects. The governor of Nuevo León, Rodrigo Medina de la Cruz, reported that the first 5 individuals suspected of starting the casino fire were arrested on August 29. The 5 of them confessed to having participated in the crime, which led to 52 deaths, but stated that they had not intended to kill anyone, only wanting to scare the owners of the building because they had refused to pay a weekly fee of 130,000 pesos to be allowed to operate. They had decided to attack, but the situation grew out of their control. More gang members were later arrested. Fugitives. On September 14, the sub-prosecutor for regional control of the Attorney General of Mexico, José Cuitlahuac Salinas Martinez, published a list of 18 people involved in the attack, including the identity and photographs of 4 Los Zetas leaders. 3 of them were later captured, and the last one was shot dead on 4 April 2012. The remainder have only been identified by nicknames and sketch portraits: El Monterrey, La Kitty or La Pelirroja, La Biba, El Chimpasan, or Chimpa and or Chilpa, El Huevor, El Tony. Captured. Sentenced. All of the arrested were detained until their sentencing. On September 27, the minor Alan Enrique was released from the juvenile center as no evidence was found that he was responsible for any part of the attack, despite having been named as a participant by some of the other arrested individuals, although he was later re-arrested. On October 27, restriction orders were closed on 10 of the 14 who had then been arrested, and the Attorney General of Nuevo León ordered their arrests for homicide and organized criminal activity, having them moved to Topo Chico prison accompanied by a strong security team. Victims. The majority of the victims were adults, people over the age of 50 and casino employees. Of the 52 people who died during the attack, 10 were men and 42 women, including 2 pregnant women, one of whom was in her 7th month. 45 of the dead were identified and the rest had to be tested in order to determine their identity, as they had suffered severe burns. All of them died from toxic fumes, although 7 of the corpses were burned. Most of them were from Monterrey, but 2 were from Tamaulipas. With respect to the 10 injured people, 3 of them were hospitalized in stable condition. The victims included Joaquin Martinez, uncle of Silvia Landeras, a well-known television presenter at Multimedios Television, as well as the sister-in-law of ex-footballer Alfredo Alacran Jimenez, whose condition has not been reported. Alter. 2 months after the attack, family members of the 52 victims came to the scene of the accident to create a memorial with 53 white wooden crosses with the names of the victims, plus one with the word "baby" for the unborn child, as well as leaving a banner asking the president not to forget about the case, referring to the specialist reports allowing the Federation to take charge. Senior Presidente Felipe Calderón le pedimos que honra su palabra, caiga quien caiga, confiamos en usted, Mr. President Felipe Calderón. We ask you to keep your word, whoever falls, we trust in you. Around 50 of the victims' family members joined hands, prayed for the victims and asked for justice. Members of the public also left arrangements of flowers on the pavement outside the casino, and as of 2012, the families have asked the authorities to preserve the casino and keep it intact. Discrepancies. Academics and intellectuals disagree strongly about whether or not the Monterrey casino attack was a terrorist act, a term used by the President of the Republic during a press conference denouncing the killings. Academics define it as a reprehensible criminal act, and not as an act of terrorism. Terrorism has different characteristics, involving ideology and doctrine, such as in the case of ETA or the 2011 attacks in Norway. The criminal acts of drug trafficking and organized crime are not strictly defined in Mexican law, and are usually a form of score settling between criminal groups, unlike in Colombia where acts of narcoterrorism against the public have a legal definition. Reactions. The President of Mexico, Felipe Calderón, called the attacks an act of terrorism and organized crime, and declared 3 days of national mourning. Cancelled events. Juan Manuel González, president of the 7th International Festival of Cinema in Monterrey, cancelled the red carpet showing of the film Viento en Contra, produced and starred in by Barbara Mori. The running of the bulls in the Plaza Monumental Monterrey Lorenzo Garza, which was celebrating its 74th year, as well as the tribute to ex-bullfighter Eloy Cavazos. International. United States. As President Barack Obama called the attack brutal and reprehensible, German Chancellor Angela Merkel sent her condolences via press conference. France condemned the act's barbarism, which has brutally shaken Mexican society, through its spokesman Bernard Valero. President of Costa Rica Laura Chinchilla called it a cowardly terrorist act. President of Panama Ricardo Martinelli invited Latin America to build a united front to combat organized crime. Organization's Secretary-General of the United Nations Ban Ki-moon called it a deplorable act of violence. Amnesty International demanded a detailed investigation of the facts, and declared their solidarity with the victims' families and the inhabitants of the region.